the tax on tips and no tax on overtime, those were sunset, so they only last a few years. But the big 40% corporate tax cut, when he lowered the corporate rate from 35% to 21, all of the tax cuts for the top 1%, they were all made permanent. And, of course, let's not forget the biggest health care cuts in American history, which helped fund the bill. Those are permanent as well.
So to Simone's point, I just wanted to put that on the record.
I mean, I think it's just so important. I mean, we talked just about the international effects and, like, the state of the negotiations or the lack thereof as it comes to this war with Iran. But as Alicia let in, there are real domestic effects to this. And it just strikes me that at a time where the American people are struggling, and this war is not going to be over tomorrow. It's not going to be over next week. Like, there is no off-ramp here for the foreseeable future. And I'm sorry to rain on people's parade, but those are just the facts. And so because of that, we're in a very precarious position. And so you got the president, got actors playing Door Dashers at the White House.
I want to say, she is a Door Dasher. She just has other interests and hobbies as well.
Yes.
As do we all. Let me say this. He's been president now, even though it seems like forever. In this term, it's a year and 3 months. Look at the economic record. A jobless economy over the last 15 months. The biggest one-month jump in gas prices in our lifetime. On top of that, oh, by the way, inflation, which was coming down every single month of 2024, inflation was coming down. Right around this time last year, it begins to reverse course and spike, specifically because of the Trump tariffs. So the reality is he was elected to cure inflation. He said on day one he would bring down prices. He hasn't. He's only made the situation worse. And the big difference between any previous recession, between any previous downturn, and this is that this isn't because of the normal business cycle. This is specifically because of his policies.
So to your point a moment ago in sort of clarifying on the no tax on tips, you've got a very gnarly situation for your colleagues in the House and even in the Senate now, which is becoming, I think, more in play, of what the hell do we run on? What do we talk to the American people about? What do we have to say to the American people about what we've done legislatively in the House and what Donald Trump has done to make life better, as promised when he ran for president? The Dayton Daily News is noting this. Struggling to advance a legislative agenda in 2026, GOP lawmakers in Congress and President Donald Trump are instead hyping what they did last year, using the April 15th tax deadline tomorrow to remind Americans about tax cuts approved by Congress in the big, beautiful bill. Quote, so many Americans are seeing bigger refunds and tax cuts, said U.S. Representative Jim Jordan. That's what President Trump promised. Trump will take that message on the road out west this week with stops in Nevada and Arizona. So whatever tax cut you're getting, you're putting it in your gas tank.
Far more. We've talked before how even before the last 6 weeks of this Iran war, even before that, because of Trump's tariff policies, the average family is paying $1,800 more a year than they were before his tariffs took effect. Now add to that the single biggest monthly increase in gas prices in our lifetime. Add to that the spill-on effect to the increase of inflation yet to come. Any sort of tax cuts that most normal, middle-class, working-class Americans got has been more than eaten up by this dramatic increase in inflation. One exception, though, if you're in the top 1%, that bill really was a big, beautiful bill for you because you got literally a record amount in tax cuts.
For you to sit here and for you to talk about it is one thing. I think it's a very different thing to hear from Trump's own voters about the fact that they are now realizing they were sold a bad bill of goods. Take a listen.
I can't believe he's just being as arrogant as he is and not working on solving the issue. The issue is war. We're not supposed to be in wars. He promised us no new wars, bottom line. Here we are.
Oh, it stings, just like everything. I mean, prices of everything going up. It affects everything. You know, the truckers taking everything and groceries go up. Everything goes up.
Okay, so that's the reality. Everyone who is filling up the tank understands that. There's also the piece of the president not doing anything about it. Like put the Iran piece of this and the negotiation piece and opening the Strait of Hormuz piece. He also is just showing no real effort to bring down the price of gas, so much so that you are now offering legislation. Tell us how it would work.
Yeah, so the federal fuel tax is 18.4 cents per gallon. It has been that way ever since Bill Clinton increased it in 1993. It's not indexed for inflation. What I've said very simply, and a number of academics have actually written on this idea before I took it, and that is suspending the gas tax once it goes north of $4 a gallon. Now, the one challenge in that is, unlike Republicans who never pay for their tax cuts, I believe the tax cuts should be paid for. Where the money goes right now for the federal fuel tax is into our National Highway Trust Fund. What I am saying is take the $30 billion in subsidies that oil and gas companies are getting thanks to Trump's so-called big, beautiful bill last summer, dip into that and backfill the amount of money that wouldn't be going into the trust fund. So bottom line, anytime gas prices hit north of $4 a gallon, there would be a suspension of the federal fuel tax. That wouldn't get gas prices back down to under $3 a gallon, mind you, which is where they were 6 weeks ago. But that extra 18 cents per gallon would absolutely help constituents in my mostly working class district and a lot of places in the U.S.